This is a video chart presentation of ASPIRE International, brought to you by the Green Baron. ASPIRE is a pink sheet company trading our ticker APIT. This is a look at a one-year chart. You can see APIT is in a pretty definitive channel. Recently, though, we'll see if this is starting to make an uptrend. Just somewhere through there, you can see the feel that's coming along with it. Channel along those lines, starting to channel upward. Moving averages pulled together. See, it's a very low volume stock. We traded 61,000 shares on Friday. I did some quick looking. This only has about 4 million shares in the float. Stocks that trade with that kind of low float can move very quickly, very easily. You can see we got a bearish cross in the MACD. What we're looking for is overall uptrend like that. Again, you can see a channel establishing itself. And channels are one thing you always look for in candles or indicators. They're very strong. So this is coming back down. We're going to look for this to try and come off this bottom side of this channel and turn and make its way upward. So we'll look for this channel to tie into support and resistance levels and see if that provides any sort of value opportunity. Again, very similar look with the PPO. Just getting a slightest twist right now of the ADX. This is something to keep an eye on. It's a bit suspect at the moment because it looks like the negative DI is flatlining and trying to turn. So we're going to keep an eye on this and see if it's going to put in any sort of strength to a negative direction. Conversely, what we'll look for is just try and break below that line. We want to see it break out of the little channel it's in. Now the DIs, of course, are very susceptible to whipsaws. They move very quickly. It's a very small component of the overall picture of things, but it's just something to keep an eye on. You can see a little small channel establishing. You want to see that channel get broken. See the MFIs, 7 and 14, both heading into what's considered oversold territory. One thing I would reference with that as to how it performed when it got into this situation. Very similar look to it through here and through here. So we're just going to throw a couple quick lines on there. We'll pull them right back off. I don't want to clutter things up too much. But there's pretty similar looks right through there. You want to see what happened with the stock price. And you can see both times when that oversold area was reached, that's when it hit roughly the bottom side of that channel. And a move back upward came. So there, nothing super substantial, but looking for patterns, looking for history. And there we can see the MFIs are kind of reaching that same level. Of course, this accumulation distribution is nothing but impressive. I'd love to see uptrends. Those that follow my charts know I like to see that. Buying pressure strong in this stock, reiterated by this shaking money flow, which is held in the green primarily throughout the whole year. One dip here below. Other than that, buying pressure has overcome selling pressure throughout the whole course of the year. CCI, down low. What you're going to look for on this? Break through this downtrend. You don't want to see it just trickle sideways and break through it. You want to see it make a move back up and break through it. Trickling sideways is kind of like a flag pattern that just drags out for a long time. It loses some validity. You look for sharper moves, break back through them, try and establish an uptrend. Of course, you like to see it hold over negative 100 and break through zero. Trading over top of zero is putting it on the bullish side of the chart. Full still, basically been bullish, holding over top of 50 for about the last 5 or 6 months. Made its dip below. You can see typically it hasn't liked to go below there. Kind of like the negative DI. It's giving hints of trying to turn. So we're going to look for that to turn and try and move its way back into bull chart territory. Tricks similar to the MACD and the PPO. Look for channels. Channels with these oscillators are very powerful. Right now coming off the top side. Going to look for it to roll back down. I always use a key component on pullbacks and channels of holding over top of zero. The hold over top of zero is really what you want to see. So I'd like to see us not even come down, hit the bottom side of this channel. I'd like to see it come down through here, make its rotation, and then turn back up, hold over that zero marker. RSIs, we're trying to make a turn. You see it this closed low on Friday, turn the RSIs the other way. They didn't turn super sharp, which would lead me to believe this was probably a low volume sell. Otherwise, we'd have seen a much sharper move, especially in the 7, where it rapidly moved away from the 14 and 21. But what I think puts this chart on radar is the fact that all these movement averages are trying to pull together. And I like just the upward feel it's getting. You can see it's not clearly defined because this has had some very odd days with gapping way down and then pulling back up, long wicks. I'm going to make the assumption that a lot of these days back through here, this stock was trading with a wider bid ask. That's why you'll see a hit down here and then a pull right back up. I like to see it when they're trading with tighter candles. That tells me that the bid and ask is trying to tighten up. And it eliminates some of this volatility that can whipsaw a lot of those indicators. That's why I look to these longer terms that are more exponentially smooth. They factor out a lot of these really strange days. You see that this did make a new high here at 46 a couple weeks ago. But really, this is in a pretty strong channel across here. I'm going to demonstrate that in a moment. We're going to see at 44 was pretty tough. Did peak up and hit 45. But I'm going to keep the upper side of that channel right there around 44. Because it was tough through here. It was tough through here. And even though it wicked up, it did pull back down. So I'm going to see this start trying to push its way through 44 and start to close above that level. That'll show a little bit more strength by holding above it, breaking through this channel, and it'll be testing the upper side. From a support side, I'd really want to see it hold 28. You can see it held it as support through here, kind of through this channel. Because of this trading pattern, Finding truly defined lines is somewhat tough. That's why we always say look at support as a fat tip marker, not a fine tip pen. But that 28 is going to kind of pull back into some places where it has defined itself, and that trend line runs somewhere through that area. So I'd like to see 28 hold on any dips. In the short term, the first thing I'm going to look for is a push back through 38. 37 through here, 38 through here, kind of 38.5 right through there, 39. I want to see this start to try and make a move, recover from this down day, start to put together some up days, gather some momentum. If that happens, you'll see these indicators that are turning like this. They'll turn right back the other direction. We'll start to see the rotation in the MACD. Some positive things will be happening, and that's a good area for it to start trying to move above. If it can do that, I'd be willing to believe it's going to go up here and then start to challenge this upper side. So those are things I'm going to keep my eye on with this daily chart. For people that are new to technical analysis, this chart can be a little bit more difficult because of the volatility in it. So I wanted to point something out with a weekly chart and back the time frame up, and you'll be able to see some things a little bit more clearly. This is a look at a 5-year weekly chart. Now you can see how that channel is kind of defined a little bit better. You know, you would put the 21 all the way down there at the bottom. The other support levels start to pull in a little bit better at 25, at that 28 area. But what's really important is you'll see the resistance there at 46 and a much clearer resistance at 50 cents. A support level through here and a definitive resistance level through here. Big drop. Boy, congrats to anybody that grabbed down there at 2 cents, pulled back up pretty quickly. But when you look at this weekly chart, you'll see a lot of the key things when it comes to technical analysis. Moving averages all tucked together. Bollinger Bands relatively tight. The channel is more defined. But my point of bringing it to this was to show this resistance level a little bit more clearly than you can see in that 1-year daily chart. So you'd see some support in there at that 25, 28 area. See the resistance pretty clearly defined. That's why it's important for me on the daily charts to start to make its turn and its roll. Because if it can take out 46, it's going to have to get a little bit of momentum coming in to take out 50. But on the positive side of things, if it does take out that 50-cent marker, resistance really doesn't come into play again until up here right around $1. Obviously, that's just a huge move from where it is at this point. Now, I'll never say that that's where this price is going, but in technical analysis, you always have to define where your next resistance levels are, and that's where it's going to be for the APIT chart. There's some things going on with these Bollinger Bands and moving averages and things like that say keep an eye on me. I could be ready to make a larger move. So look for that bottom support to hold. Look for it to come up here and try and take out this resistance level, because everything will turn very bullish if that happens. You'll start to see the Bollinger Bands gapping out. The moving averages will be starting to move more firmly north. There's a lot of things that affect the overall sentiment of the chart. And if this can break through 50, this chart's going to turn very bullish. So ASPIRE is just another good example of why to take a look at different time frames and see what those charts are telling you, especially if you don't feel you're getting a clear picture from the daily charts. But overall, I think that APIT is one to keep an eye on and see if a few shifts in trends are going to happen and try and take out some resistance levels and some trend lines and continue an upward channel. As always, annotated video chart is merely my interpretation. I'm not a financial consultant and strongly encourage you to do your own proper due diligence. Consult a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Please visit the greenbaron.com website to view the full disclaimer disclosure and do not base any investment decisions on any material found on the website and/or this video chart. No person employed by the Green Baron is a registered investment advisor or licensed broker-dealer. Thank you for watching and trade smart.